Alright guys, John from Team Blind MST here, and I'm going to do my more in-depth Day 1 Nationals recap. I can't go to Day 2 unfortunately because my best buddy's getting married, and I have to stand up in his wedding. So I tried to get all of my trading done yesterday, pick up everything I wanted to pick up, register, get my stuff, just do the whole Nats thing, and then everything I didn't get accomplished yesterday I'm going to have to do tomorrow at the last day at Nats. With the 2015 qualifier and stuff. So these are the sleeves. I know we showed them to you in the last video, but in case you guys haven't seen that one, with Dan's bullshit Blackwing deck that he literally threw together on the car ride back from Nats just because he was happy he got those super black whirlwinds. But they're pretty cool. They're I don't know, they're just purple. It comes with, I think it actually comes in packs of 80, which is nice because finally you can sleeve an entire deck, extra deck, and side deck without having to buy more than one pack of cards. People wanted to buy these as soon as you got your mat and your sleeves. People were asking you for them. I mean, I think the going rate was like 20 bucks a pack, but I don't know why you would want to sell something that's just kind of a record of your accomplishment. One of my buddies, literally, he took out 15 because he just wanted the sleeves extra deck and then sold them for 20. So I thought that was pretty funny, but I don't know, they're kind of cool. The tokens, I don't know if a lot of you know, but when you go there you get to have your picture taken, get tokens. We chose to just kind of have like a team token taken. Yeah, so it turned out pretty good. And then the mat. I'm actually kind of pleased with the mat. When Konami announced what the mat looked like, they posted a picture up, and it didn't look anything like this. I mean, it did, like Guardian was still on this side, and Dread Scythe was still on this side, but this was much smaller, and I actually don't even think the globe was on it. And it wasn't like full art. Literally, it was just cut down the middle, Guardian card art, Dread Scythe card art. So this actually looks a lot better than I thought it would. Like, it still would have been nice to have, like, maybe, I don't know, a Noble Knights mat, or just any archetypal mat. Those always look really cool. But, I mean, I can't really complain. Free stuff's free stuff. And I guess Noble Knights are getting that mat in that super structure deck that's coming out. So a lot of you guys have asked how we get valuable cards, like Exitons and Silent Honors, because those are 50 to 100, well, not 100 anymore, but $80 cards, and I know a lot of people are trying to play this deck on a budget, or this game in general on a budget, but unfortunately you have to kind of spend money. But I spent $260 yesterday, and that covered parking, like food for the day, and all the cards and stuff I got. So I feel I picked up far more than $260 worth of stuff. And if you want to get those cards like Exitons or Silent Honors, a lot of times what you can do is you find someone who's selling a whole deck, like I did yesterday, and you buy the deck for say $200-300, but it comes with an Exiton or a Silent Honors, and then you sell the main deck for like $250. So say you pick up, I don't know, you pick up Constellars or whatever, but the guy just happens to have a Silent Honors in the side deck, and you pay $100 for it. Or, well, he'd have to have more than an Exiton, but you can usually recoup some of the value off of just the staples and the actual deck skeleton. So the first thing I actually did pick up was I picked up Constellars. I got the whole deck for $32. So just the Sheratons, 3 Pollux, 3 Algieti, 3 Sombre, 3 Chaos, and then 2 Pallades. Everything first edition. Pallades is $10 a piece, so there's $20. Chaos is a couple bucks. I think he's at like 4, maybe. So that's 12. I know Sombre is at like 6 or 7. So right there's 32, and then this is roughly $20. So that's $52. And then even if you say, I know Pollux is like $2, and if the rest of them are $1, it's roughly $60. So I got this basically at half price. So you could flip this if you wanted to. Constellars is one of the decks I always wanted to pick up. I just never felt like spending the money to get it, because Pallades was like 30 at one point in time. Like Sombres were like 12. So Chaoses were like 10. It was never like cost effective. And then I saw some kid buying it, and I was gonna trade him for it, but when he said 32, I was like, you know what? I'll just pick it up. So pick this up. I thought I got a pretty good deal on that. The next thing I got was, the next big trade was, I traded some kid. No, I bought these. Some kid bought an Inzector's deck off of somebody for like $30 or whatever. I don't know why he did it, but I was looking through and it had a lot of really good staples in it. So I just asked him how much he wanted for all of the staples, and he's like 20 bucks. So I did that. That was got a secret torrential, super warning, 2 ultra deep prisons, 2 common fiendish chains, 2 super MSTs, and a soul charge. So I mean, like if you price this out, like soul charge is what, like $5. Super MSTs are like $4 or $5. 2 fiendish chains are like $4 or $5. D prisons are like 8 to 10. Warnings probably like 4, and then a torrential's probably like 4. So I definitely got a lot more value in cards, and like staples are staples. People always need staples. If I wanted to, I could put this up on eBay and make probably almost double my money back, no problem. But unfortunately, I just have too many decks, so I actually need these cards. So it was really nice to be able to pick those up. So that was a pretty big, I don't know, I guess that was a pretty big plus in my eyes. Then some other kid wanted like a super Stardust, so I just asked him if he had like common staples. So I just got like 6 MSTs and a Compulse for a super Shadow Spectre Stardust, which is really worth like dirt. So now I can actually finish out a lot of my decks. What else did I get? I picked up 2 Rainbow Karibos. I bought one for $10. I bought the other one for $2. Some kid just had a pile of cards, and he was like, everything in there's $1 or $2. So I scalped that. I bought a lot of stuff from him, but I ended up trading most of it. But I got like I said, I got this valued Rainbow Karibo at $2. So obviously I'm not gonna pass it up. Got this one for 10. These are good cards. People are just I don't know. It's better than Necro Guard. In some cases, it's better than Swift Scarecrow. It's really good in Judgment Dragons because it's a light, so it counts for Lightweight Diabolos, and it's not a bad mill if you mill it, and if you draw it, it's not a dead draw either. So it's just better in every way in that deck than Necro Guard is. I also picked up a playset of Retorts. When this card first came out, people wanted it. It was like 10, 20 bucks for it. It was what it kind of settled at. It's a really good card for those of you who don't know what it does. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you activate it, it negates the activation, destroys it, and then if you have one in your grave, well, you have to have one of the same name in your graveyard to activate it. So like if you activate MST, you have to have an MST in your graveyard. You activate Retort, negate their MST, and then you can add your own MST from your graveyard back to your hand. This card's disgusting in a lot of mirror matches. Particularly, it's going to be gross in Shaddoll mirror matches. Like, oh, well, you're going to Shaddoll Fusion? That's fine. Negate the Shaddoll Fusion, add my Shaddoll Fusion back from the grave to my hand. Like, crazy amounts of recursion. It works on pretty good on staples. I mean, everyone runs Deep Prison. Most people run, like, Bottom of this, Book of Moon, Solemn. Like, and it's a counter trap. So, I mean, unless it gets wiretapped, it's going off. Pretty good. Picked them up for $1. I feel like they're going to go up in value when Shaddoll's come out. Like, I feel they're definitely going up in value when Shaddoll's come out. Then I finished off my playset of Mistakes. I think I picked them up at 10. That's crazy. This card's worth way more than $10. This is one of those cards that it's gonna be like a Skullmeister. Really, like it's always decent, and then once something comes out that is actually really worth it, it just shits on them and it becomes worth so much money. I think I saw this card going for as high as like $38 at one point in time. So it's something that if you want to be very competitive and you want to have a lot of side deck options, I feel you should have them. I feel like you should just have access to them, and when they are relevant, people want way too much money for them. So if you ever want to use these cards in the future, there is no better time to get them than right now. I mean, that being said, I guess it could technically be reprinted, but I don't know. It's not a bad looking card. And for $10 a piece, I just highly recommend getting these. I got a Goyo. I mean, it's just an Ultra. It's not anything special. I got it for $10. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you got a Goyo for $10. Honestly, that's what it will be worth in a week, especially an Unlimited Ultra. I feel the Unlimited Ultras from the tin, and then the Unlimited Ultras and the Tin Secrets will be about $10 in a week. I mean, maybe the first editions will be 15, and then I feel like Ulti First Edition is ultimately going to settle on like 20, maybe 25. People are hyping this up because it came back. People remember how good Goyo was, but he's really not that amazing because a lot of decks don't synchro anymore. Yes, he's going to be gross because you can use him in Shaddolls, you can use him in Cosmic Dragons, But the thing is the shit you're stealing, if he kills an XYZ, it's not really relevant. And that's, like, the problem with Goyo was he was a 2800 beat stick who would attack over your opponent's Stardust, and then you would get your opponent's Stardust. But people aren't running synchros that much anymore, so yes, it is a very good card. Yes, if you can make rank 6 or level 6s, you absolutely, no question, should run a Goyo. But he's not game breaking like he used to be, because like I said, there are XYZ monsters now that can address him. Because before, like, your only power cards were synchro monsters. Like, you didn't have access to other power cards that weren't just, like, main deck power cards. And so he's still a very good card. But, I mean, he's not busted. Don't let people talk you into paying $20 for a Goyo Guardian. He's just ridiculous. I also picked up, this is another example where I kind of made some money by, picking up a whole deck at once. Some kid was trying to get rid of Sylvans. I was kind of picking up Sylvans for a while, and I just didn't want to spend the money on like the Sage Koyas and stuff, because Sage Koya is like 15 a piece, Charity is like 15 a piece, and that's much, much cheaper than it used to be. I don't know why this deck's so dirt cheap. It's a really good deck. It's just, it takes a lot of skill, and it's very combo based, and you can make things miss timing if you're not paying attention. So like, it takes a lot of good play to do well with this deck, but if you understand how the deck works and you play it properly, it's just absolutely disgusting. And it wasn't 100% finished. The extra deck wasn't like done or anything, but the kid originally said his buddy was looking for like 150, and I was like, nah. He's like, well, I'd go as low as 120, and I hadn't even looked at the deck yet, but I just asked him. I was like, is the extra deck done? Like, what's in the extra deck? He's like, nothing too good. He's like, I think one Bird Jesus, Aurea, and the main deck's pretty much done, except for no soul charges. And so I was like, oh, well, if there's no extra deck, I'll give you like $80 for it or whatever. Because when he said no soul charges, I assumed he meant like no Curry Bandits either. And he's like, oh, no, I couldn't go as low as $80. And later in the day, he found me. He's like, yo, I could go as low as 100. So I was like, all right, let me see the deck. So I looked through the deck, and I just absolutely had to. It was a steal. It came with 2 Lone Fires, 3 Super Miracle Fertilizers, Flower Knight, which I probably won't run, a Cherub Sprout, probably won't run, 3 Peacekeepers, 3 Kumo Shumos, 3 Princess Sprouts, 3 Marshall Leafs, and everything's first edition too, which is kind of cool. 3 Sage Koyas, 3 Hermitries, 3 Charities, 3 Slovenias, a Tempest, a Blaster, and then 3 Curry Bandits. And I mean, that right there is a lot more than $100. So I definitely feel at the end of the day I made out. I could easily sell this for $150 at a local. I could probably sell it for $2 at a big local to somebody who just wants to pick up Sylvans. I feel this deck's gonna go back up in price very soon. As soon as somebody figures out like how to build this, I mean, I'm going to run it. Like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to play with it a bunch. I've been playing it on Dev Pro a bunch. One of my buddies has it made. It's a really fun deck, but like I said, it takes a lot of skill. It's like old Plant Synchro, like real old Plant Synchro. It's not an autopilot deck. It's not like Hat Tricks. It's not like Judgment Dragons, where if you don't know what you're doing, you will still accidentally win the game. You absolutely have to know what you're doing, how to do it, and like what your options are with this deck. So yeah, so I got all that for $100, and then it also came with a Leo, a Colossal Fighter, a Hidden Arsenal, Catastor, Ancient Fairy, Crimson Blader, an Aurea, and a High Protector. So, I mean, I feel like I got a really good deal. I couldn't pass it up. Like I said, I can easily recoup my money back, but that's just an example of a way to plus in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like going back to the Exitons and the Silent Honors. Yeah, maybe you can't get a good deal on the Exiton or Silent Honors, but like if you pick this up for $100, you can easily sell it for $150, and then you just take that $50 you just made and just buy a Silent Honors, and you basically came across a Silent Honors for free. And we do that a lot, and that's a lot of times, if we don't pull them, that's usually how we get our cards. And as all you guys know, I'm a Gravekeeper kid. I know a lot of people. Brian's mentioned about how my deck was just too damn expensive for Gravekeepers, and someone commented like, oh, it's not max rarity, it's not highest rarity, whatever, because I hate Super Spies, so I don't like the way they look, but you guys can leave me alone now. I have Super Spies, okay? Get off my dick. I also have first edition Secret Pod Dualities now. guys can leave me alone about that too. And my Commandants are now first edition. So now my Gravekeepers are 100% highest rarity in every sense of the word. So that was pretty cool. I traded my non-first edition Commandants and an extra Sylvan Charity I had for the first edition ones, which I was fine with because one of mine was damaged anyways. And it's really hard to find first edition ones in near mint to mint condition. So the guy was a really cool guy. I'm actually really glad he traded this with me. The pots, I had non-first edition secret pot dualities. I know a lot of people are saying, well, first edition, non-first edition, who cares? That's a $30 difference per card. So that's almost, well, not really. It's like a $20 to $25 difference per card. So that's a $75 difference in card in playset. So I thought I was gonna have to like try to just sell mine. I was trying to sell mine all day, just sell a playset for $100. I was just gonna go buy these for $150. Because when you buy them from like the vendors had a playset for $50 a piece, and I was like, oh, I'd pay that. Like I feel it's pretty reasonable. I think they actually dropped in price recently, but I really don't care. All I wanted was my first edition Secret Pot Dualities. So what I did was I traded my non-first edition Secret Pot Dualities for a playset of Ultimate Judgment Dragons, which was a ridiculously good trade. I don't understand why the guy did it. I think he just really wanted to get rid of them. Actually, I do. I understand why he did it, because as soon as I picked up those Ulti JDs, I was walking around Nationals just trying to get rid of them. Nobody wants them. Yes, they're worth $65 a piece, but every single person that wants to have high-rarity Lightsworns already has JDs. Like, they already have either Secret Firsties or Ultimates, and the Ultimates are really easy to find, so they really should not be worth $65. I think what happened was people had them up for $65, and all the ones for $50 just happened to be purchased. So people, like, the card's not worth $65. Like, yes, it's a very good deck, but anyone who's rarity whoring that deck is getting first edition Secret Rare. So I then took those JDs and traded them for this playset. I might have lost money, but I basically stole those JDs from somebody because I got such a good deal on them. So I really didn't care. Like, this was all I wanted. I wasn't looking to make money in that instance. Like, I couldn't sell them. I tried. I lowered the value on those things to 60. I lowered them to 55, and then I lowered them to 50. Nobody wanted to give me cash for them. So I was just really happy that I ended up doing that. And like a lot of people are saying, half the people are saying I'm dumb, but anybody who, like, all the vendors said that it was a pretty good deal. Like, because the vendors wouldn't take my JDs for their secret pots. Like, no way, because JD is just gonna drop in price. Like, people don't want the alties that much. Like, pot duality, like, everyone's always gonna want pot dualities. And even if it gets reprinted in a platinum secret rare, people are still gonna want these. Like, these cards right here, just so hard to find. Oh, and another thing, while I was trying to trade for these all day, be very careful. There was 4 or 5 times I almost got secret rare first edition pot dualities off of people, but they all had humidity damage, and you cannot tell if a card has humidity damage unless you physically take it out of the sleeve and look at the back, and it'll look like just little creases running in the middle. And you can't really notice when it's in a sleeve, but it makes the cards next to worthless. So just pay attention to that. After you make a deal with somebody, always say, hey, before we finalize this, can I please check the condition of these cards? All you have to do is you just have to slide it out a little bit, and then you would see on the middle. Like, I don't deal with damaged cards. I don't want damaged cards. I want absolutely nothing to do with damaged cards. It just bothers me. Like, you can still play them. They're perfectly legal. It bothers me, and it's not worth nearly as much as non-damaged cards. So it's something to look out for at big events, because sometimes people don't even know that their cards are damaged. Sometimes they got those in a trade. They did not check the condition themselves. They're not trying to screw you. They just legitimately do not know that their cards are damaged. So at those, and then the Super Spies I actually just ended up buying. It's also really kind of hard to find a play set of these together. Anyone who has them knows that anyone looking for them just wants them and is willing to pay cash. I talked the guy down to 70 for the play set. I feel that was a pretty good deal, so there is no complaints there. And what else? I think that, and then I also got this stack of beautiful cards right here for a Secret Stardust. I don't know why the kid wanted a Secret Stardust so much. It's just a $10 tin Stardust, and I literally all I really wanted was, originally I pulled these out, and I was like, yo man, like, I just kind of want the staples, whatever. And then I saw the DD Crow, and I had like a Queen Dragon Jin and a Beatles up too. and he wanted something else. He wanted like a secret Stardust and maybe like a secret Pearl and like one other like random, maybe like a super Mistroke. And he valued the Beals too high, so I was like, well, I don't want the Beals. And then he's like, well, if you take the Beals away, I'll give you everything for the secret Stardust. And I just kind of like sat there, and I thought he was joking at first, and then I realized he was okay. And I don't know, I feel like this was a pretty big pickup. I mean, Alti-Transmigration Prophecies are just, people usually aren't trading those, and like Premium Gold MSTs and Common Deep, like just, it's a bunch of stuff I need. Like staples are just staples. And then probably the coolest thing I got all day, yes, this is 100% real, yes, this is, I've verified that this is like the actual text. This is a German Secret Book of Moon that is misprinted, so it has the creature swap text. It's nuts. Like that's a big screw up. Like that's almost as big of a screw up as what is it, the Rainbow Neo screw up where they switched the pictures of the cards. Like this is just literally different card text. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I was looking for an Italian Book of Moon because it's the same translation as like if it was to be Latin, and I just feel like if there's any, I hate foreign cards too. So like me picking this up was a big deal, but it was just so different. It's not legal for play in Germany, but it has been ruled that because you have to have an English translation anyways, it is legal for play outside of Germany. So, like, it's legal for play in America, it's legal for play in Europe, it's legal for play in anywhere in the TCG that's not Germany. I thought that was kind of weird because, I mean, everyone knows what Book of Moon does, but yeah, so just thought that was pretty cool. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I picked up like some deck boxes and stuff for a couple bucks, but that was just from the vendor. They were pretty cool about that. They had pretty reasonable prices. So thanks for watching. I'm sure Brian and Dan and the rest of Blind MST will have a bunch of news for you guys from today, as today is their actual Nats. It's the actual tournament. We'll probably do some deck profiles later, and we'll give you the Day 2 recap and the Day 3 recap with the National Qualifier for next year. So thanks for watching. John signing out.